What's back, guys? And today we're going to be reacting to a video with Andy Dino. What if foods like to be
Hello.
eaten by Godzilla and other titans? So, it's basically what you just heard. What is food to be eaten by a titan?
Godzilla and other titans.
Oh, yeah, I mean Godzilla.
It'll be very brutal, and
And this video, not my video, includes paid promotion, not my video. Does he have a part where it says the pub? Anyways, what is the first part of his intro? Oh, okay, let's watch. Oh yeah, probably spoiler warning, probably blood warning just before we start.
In the past, Goji Center has covered dozens of ways in which several
Have you
creatures
checked
could
your
eat
recorder,
a
Frank?
human being.
What?
have you checked your recorder?
Yeah, I already did.
Nice.
But
Yeah,
today
sometimes
we're
they
going
look
to showcase
good.
a much different experience. Getting eaten by titans. In this episode, we have pre-selected a total of 6 MonsterVerse titans to illustrate the unique experiences that a human would go through if they ever got unlucky enough to find their way into the mouths of these hungry monsters. The journey through each titan will be different, bringing different levels of pain, damage, and duration. Some of the stuff you're about to see will be a bit disturbing, so if you like this sort of stuff, make sure you follow or subscribe to be the very first to witness more kaiju carnage. Coming up, the literal journey inside the mouth of a MonsterVerse kaiju. Before we cover our first titan, let's first talk about how you now have the opportunity to play as these kaiju in World of Warships, our sponsor. A massively epic free-to-play game
I
available.
should play this game one day.
And now, let's go back to the episode.
Okay.
Our test subject's journey through a monstrous digestive tract will begin as soon as you're acquainted with the type of kaiju we're dealing with. In these simulations, we are well aware that some test subjects might not even make it to the creature's stomach alive. But to ensure that they make it as far as possible, our kaiju will be instructed to swallow and not chew our test subjects. Doing so would render this episode down to just a minute. Where's the fun in that? To begin, we will study a titan who is anatomically similar to us humans, in the fact that the skeletal and organ arrangements very much resemble our own. Number 1, Kong. Our first test subject will be dropped inside Kong's mouth.
Wow.
While this happens, we will analyze closely what happens during its journey and
What?
Well, these are just like being swallowed by a human if you really think about it.
Really?
find out how long this person can
I mean,
stay
that's
alive
common
for.
sense.
Kong's
Yeah,
build
because
is very
humans evolved from monkeys. I think.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I just heard about that.
very similar to us humans, with a digestive tract that includes the mouth, esophagus, stomach, large and small intestine, etc. It is what happens in these locations that we will follow closely. In Kong Skull Island, we witnessed a crew member fall into the jaws of this massive titan. Note that this Kong was just a teenager, meaning that it was much smaller than our present-day Kong, which measures somewhere around 335 feet in height. You're about to find out that getting swallowed by this larger Kong will allow you to live a little longer. Let us explain. Once dropped inside the throat of this massive kaiju, it would probably only take you around 8 to 10 seconds to fall all the way to the bottom of Kong's esophagus. Accounting for all the friction you will encounter while sliding. You are rapidly running out of oxygen and inhaling toxic gases that are found inside the digestive system of organisms that actively eat a variety of food sources, methane and sulfur. Inhaling these gases will cause irritation to your eyes, lungs, and breathing too much methane will cause you to throw up. But you're still alive. You will now land into Kong's massive stomach. At this point, you could technically be considered as a bolus, a chunk of food that is entering the gastrointestinal tract. And you're in for a beating. Stomachs such as these have a mechanism on the stomach lining that pounds food in an attempt to break it down. But you're too small to be broken down. During this horrific, dark experience, your presence triggers the hormones to release acids to start breaking down your body. How fast? Well, given that Kong is a carnivore that eats raw meat, its stomach acids need to be strong enough to break down bacteria and pathogens that are ingested. This hydrochloric acid in smaller creatures would be comparable to car battery acid. But you're now getting showered by this stuff, meaning that this overwhelming amount of corrosive material would eat through your skin in a
Sorry that being so silent, but what is that green thing?
What?
What is that green thing? It's a I have no idea.
Let's continue.
You know, I'm allowed to talk, alright? I'm not. If you guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, so. Seems like fun, eh?
matter of moments. Your outer layer of skin is gone, and now it's eating into your flesh. You're dead at this point, with an estimated
What
duration
happened to
of
that
around.
guy?
Yeah. The deceased. Wow. I mean, he doesn't really look that deceased. He just looks like half ripped up, if you know what I mean. Anyways.
1 to 2 minutes. Eventually, your body would turn into a pulp and be digested along Kong's long intestines. Believe it or not, this is the longest you will last inside a kaiju digestive system. Coming up, a similar but very quick journey through a hypervorous creature. Number 2, Skullcrawler.
Yeah, so
We
this
have
one is going
covered
to be
what it was-
kind of similar to Kong, but kind of different.
Kong's seems the longest. Who is that little fella that looks that's puny? That guy. No, I'm not gonna show which one it is for spoilers.
Feel like to get eaten by a skullcrawler before, but this time you're getting swallowed, and we'll go into a little bit more detail. This skullcrawler we have here is a juvenile. Although smaller, these are all capable of swallowing an average-size human whole. But how long can this victim survive? Let's find out. Unlike Kong, the digestive process of these animals is a lot different than your conventional eat, digest, poop cycle. As our test subject travels down the skullcrawler's esophagus, the human will find it ever increasingly more difficult to breathe oxygen thanks to the gases emitted by this creature's stomach.
Oh,
Shortly
wow,
after,
do you see how smoothly he just slid down?
Yeah, I can
He's like,
see. When you
this
say
guy
it's
will
very
fall into a
slimy.
stomach full of green bile, ready to digest the proteins found in your body. Keep in mind that this green bile will most likely be already present, ready to digest you. The reason is because there is more than likely other stuff inside already being digested, since
Yes,
these
well,
animals
well,
are hypervores. Animals with a
always
metabolism
was
that
a
demands
hypervore always hungry?
Yeah,
I knew that totally.
basically like
I did not know that.
that they must
basically like
always
meat
eat.
and bed
An animal
rats.
with such instincts will be forced to be on the lookout for the next meal at all times, inducing stress. So it just so happens that animals that are going through stress will regurgitate their food, or in other words, spit it back out to focus their energy on hunting or fighting instead of digesting, as a way to relieve
Disturbing
itself
thing
of
I've
the
ever
bulk of its
seen.
meal. So you've made your way inside the stomach of the skullcrawler. This green bile washes you with corrosive agents so strong that it dissolves your skin and flesh.
Yeah, is that the exact same garble? Just he actually put clothes on this time because before he didn't have flipping clothes on. I'm like, what?
because it's destroyed.
Yeah, good point.
Similar to what happened in Kong's stomach. The difference here is that after your flesh and organs are all digested, you will be vomited. We are stepping into the realm of speculation, but it is likely that juvenile skullcrawler digestive systems are incapable of digesting bones, causing them to spit you back out in order to possibly relieve themselves from any extra weight so that they may hunt their next prey. The amount of time that you are
Oh my god, when you see the skull crawl like this, it looks
That's so
weird.
cool looking.
It looks weird. Look, that's his nose, right?
No, think about it. Those might be his nostrils.
That's what I'm thinking. It looks like his eyes.
It does.
And look at this. There's a claw in his nose. He's a hand in his mouth.
Oh my god, it does look like that.
alive in this skullcrawler would probably last just under a minute, since the concentrated bile would expel enough toxic gas to knock you unconscious.
Stop wiggling like
Either
a worm.
that,
Oh
or
my
you
lord.
suffocate once
It's
pushed
just
into a mush of
under a minute.
half-digested carcasses in the
What?
skullcrawler's stomach.
So just under a minute is how long you survive
Oh, sheesh.
with this whole
At least you
That's a
made it
good thing.
halfway through the digestive system. Your trip through the next Titans will probably end a lot faster. Number 3, Rodan. Up next, we encounter a Titan whose biology will make it a lot more difficult for you to survive an
want
extended
anybody
trip
to
down
just
this
be like,
animal's
"Hey,
throat.
nah, nah."
Now, if you know anything about
Lava
this monster, you
pterodactyl thingy guy.
Is it from the like that Godzilla King movie? Is it from that?
Yeah.
Oh, now I know who you're talking
will
about.
recall that this creature can thrive in
I remember
superheated
this scene.
biomes, and as far as being
I just forgot
biologically
the name.
volcanic in terms of anatomical composition.
yeah.
Yes, the big
pretty sure
angry bird's
King Ghidorah and
temperature
Godzilla are the other
skyrockets
two.
above the previous Titans, matching
But
the
there's
temperature seen
another
inside
one.
volcanoes.
Wait, what? There's 6?
Yeah, there's 6 in
1,
this video.
2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, there's 6.
Well, how hot are
this
these?
is
Magma
Volcano?
is said to reach up to 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. In order to give you an idea of how hot that is,
Oh my God,
it takes
look at that.
temperatures of 1,600 degrees Fahrenheit to burn a human to a crisp,
Please don't
assuming
burn me to a
you stay
crisp.
inside the fire, which will be your case inside Rodan's body. In 2019, we witnessed this pilot get eaten by Rodan. But how long did it take for this dude to die? Let's find out. As we drop our test subject inside Rodan's mouth, we start noticing that he starts to react to the intense heat. Rodan's fleshy tissue is resistant to these intense temperatures, but yours isn't. In a matter of moments, your body
You
begins to
lie on
literally
fire.
cook while you're still alive. Making contact with Rodan's esophageal walls, for instance, will be like making contact with lava itself, causing instant third-degree burns all over your body. The good news is that you don't feel third-degree burns because the nerve endings get burned as well.
All
But
of
the
your
edge of
eats
those
are
burns are
cooked if you really think about
excruciatingly
it.
painful. Your
Good
journey
point.
sliding
Yeah,
down
but no,
through
no.
Rodan's
Actually, all the food
esophagus
he
will
eats are burnt because everything, or flesh, because everything he eats would have been burnt to a crisp. So he probably likes very crispy food.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
That means he
like,
couldn't complete in Minecraft a balanced diet because he wouldn't be able to eat the raw
early,
foods.
since you probably
Anyways,
won't make it
let's
anywhere near this
continue.
animal's stomach before turning into burnt matter, making your trek last just around 10 to 20 seconds. Your body
Oh,
was
yeah,
too
damn.
small to
20
maintain
seconds.
its integrity all the way
Dude,
down
my
this animal's
guys is
esophageal
been
tract,
sliding
leaving
down.
you more burnt than that well-done steak you
wait, why is this?
ordered last Saturday night.
I
The
didn't
next
have
Titan
steak
might
last
do the
Saturday
same
night.
thing to you,
I don't
but
even
with
know what I
different
had.
means of doing so. Number
Mine's-
4, Monster Zero.
Fucking
It's
dog.
King
You
Ghidorah.
know how it is when you buy a new Mac.
What? We don't want to hear about your dumb Mac.
After
this
providing
video isn't a paid
absolutely no
promotion,
nutritional
I swear.
value to Rodan, we are now about to find out if our next test subject will suffer the same fate or be useful at all to our next kaiju,
I like
Monster
Ghidorah,
Zero,
he's cool.
or Ghidorah. We have witnessed this guy eat someone
His
before,
chapter's
but
puny.
fortunately for her, she most likely died upon impact, sparing her from what probably followed after.
Dude.
Before we throw our dude through one of these throats, let's take a quick moment to understand something very important. This kaiju's biology. The composition of this kaiju has lots of traces of aurum, or gold. And it just so happens that this material is a perfect conductor of electricity. In addition to that, it is said that this kaiju
Dude,
had
yellow
electroreceptor
electricity.
molecular
I feel like I
biology,
should've seen that.
transferring currents everywhere. This is seen in how electricity seems to make its way throughout all parts of this creature's body. Consequently, it is only feasible to think that someone dropped inside the mouth of Ghidorah would only survive for a few seconds before succumbing to the energy levels running through his
I mean,
body.
makes sense.
Almost as if every surface of this animal's esophageal tract was a taser, meaning that any muscles would contract all at once, and the heart stopped as a result of the excess in electricity. And in some cases, people who are exposed to shocks like these will sometimes urinate or even defecate themselves in the process. We'd like to think that your roller coaster journey through this tract will last no more than around 5 seconds.
Really?
If you think about
I
it,
don't like
that
that.
is a very long time getting shocked from all directions. Your
Yeah.
body may or may not make it to this creature's stomach, if it has one, depending on how much of it disintegrated during the trip down. If you think this happens too fast, wait till you see what happens to our next test subject. Number 5, eaten by Mechagodzilla. This is a titan that is not
Well, look at the
necessarily
last
built
one.
to eat anything at all, but it is good at processing anything that makes its way through its
So this is
jaws.
actually interesting
If
because
you
he's
have
a
seen our
robot.
episodes covering
Yeah.
Mechagodzilla, you are now well acquainted with the many weapons this thing possesses. But one of the most gruesome was its set of grinders
What is that
located
Godzilla
inside its
vs. Kong?
jaws. There is
Yeah.
no trachea to travel down, so
I
instead
mean, yeah,
we
man,
will
guys,
just
hey
drop
guys,
our
this is
test
spoiler
subject
warning at the
into its
beginning of the
bottom
video.
jaw and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
These grinders are exceptionally
cringe
well
warning.
purposed to grind larger chunks of meat, which makes
No, I don't
grinding a
think so.
human
I should
as
have said
if it
cringe
wasn't
warning at the
even
start.
there.
Not the only thing
surfaces
that's
on these
friends
grinders
is
Okay.
will
making
flatten
it
you to a
flat.
pulp in a matter
Go
of
back and make
seconds.
it.
Shush.
This
Too
particular
loud,
test
Dino.
subject was unlucky to get crushed legs first, meaning that he would have felt every single last bone of his body crushed until his upper torso followed, and finally his head. The level of pain from falling in this machine would depend on what angle you fell into these grinders. If you ever happen to fall into one of these, go head first. Now is time to move on to the last kaiju on this list.
Godzilla, I hope. Yep.
Number 6, eaten by
Actually, I don't really know, but I
Godzilla.
mean, the title's
Getting
it's like
eaten by this
Godzilla, not a
kaiju
title.
is unique in that you might actually make it further down than you initially think, but it will really depend on what mood or state Godzilla is currently in. Monster vs. Godzilla as we know him appears
Isn't
to
Godzilla
have
supposed to be like a kind man? Isn't that true, Dino?
Yeah. He's a good guy. Yeah, you know.
Can you continue?
Yes, we just said
many
continue.
different states.
2 minutes
His
left
normal,
there.
non-aggressive state,
Actually,
his radioactive display,
2 minutes
and burning states. Obviously,
15.
getting swallowed by the burning
Oh, no.
state only means that you'll catch fire before even making contact with Godzilla. But
51
what
or
about the other ones? A Godzilla in normal state would still be something to watch out for in terms of temperature and most definitely radiation. Radiation poisoning will most likely occur, but that sort of damage could potentially take a couple of hours to completely kill. Now, admittedly, this is a one-of-a-kind wild card, since we aren't completely sure what Godzilla's digestive system looks like, if he even has one. But what we do know is that Godzilla is bionuclear, meaning that the insides of his body have to be steaming hot. And there should be parts of his body that help regulate or expel that heat. Probably why he spends most of his time in the water. But anyways, let's return to our final test subject.
They never
who will
told
be
us how
dropped
long
inside
you'd last for with Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd only be a few seconds.
I mean, look how fast, I mean, look how short that was. Kong literally had the longest, I'm pretty sure.
Godzilla's throat.
Anyways.
Here we see the human making
It
his
was
way
here
down
being
Godzilla's
about
esophagus,
Mechagodzilla
while at the same
long.
time making contact with the esophageal walls. How hot is this place? A good reference is to compare it to the temperature of an organic cooled heavy water moderated reactor, which can reach temperatures of up to 752 to 1004 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep in mind that this is a Godzilla in a normal state. These temperatures are enough to cause your own internal liquids to boil and cook a human body alive. This, unfortunately, would be a gradual process. After a few seconds, your organs, including your brain, will fail to function. Your blistered body will have made it to the next stage of this animal's esophageal tract. Whatever that may be. A stomach full of acid? A gizzard full of bionuclear flammable material? Who knows? What is certain is that no human will survive. Are there other titans out there that could provide our test subjects with a more gruesome experience? Let us know what you think in the comment section. For more content on your favorite kaiju and crazy science fiction what-if scenarios, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and support the channel by checking
We are done. Is there anything left? Yeah, it looks like there's a lot.
out our merch store by clicking on the link in
You guys can scan it if you really want to and buy his merch. I'm not promoting it, I swear. You can just do it if you really want to.
the description or scanning this QR
Here's
code.
the thing.
Thank
Maybe
you for watching.
due to this video because here's the thing. There are more titans. There's Mothra. There's the mammoth thing. There's the
Yeah,
That's
there's
just
a lot more, so maybe a part 2 because I mean, wait, so is it,
part two
wait,
would be pretty cool.
whoa, I want to say, is
And
there
we'll
anything
see
else?
you in the next video.
Is it just a sponsor? No, it's literally nothing. Why am I recommend? Anyways, just go back to the start so I have this sick looking screen at the end. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure subscribe to Goji Channel. As you can see, I've already done my part. I am subscribed to his channel. I don't have post notifications. Let's enable that to all.
Yeah.
And this is do that.
Nice.
Anyways,
Do you really like this YouTuber?
yep. And later, I don't know when, maybe when we finish this series, we're gonna be moving on to Dana Announcer.
Jurassic World.
And no, never mind. I was gonna say and Park, but nobody cares about Jurassic Park. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. See you guys the next time. Peace. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Dana to say bye.
Bye.
Peace.